Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my read-through of Vinland Saga, where I'm reading through Vinland Saga for the first time, and I am joined by...
Me! It is me as the Jarkey Bacon, and I'm here ready to correct misinformation off my hot streak of spending 2 hours of correcting a guy on Reddit.
Yep.
and he did not even respond to my comment. I wrote a whole YouTube video essay for him, and he just didn't like
gave
it.
the
So
adequate
hopefully-
response, you know?
Thank you. I appreciate the effort you would put into this, but no. You wound me, good sir. Yeah, anyway, I'm here and we're ready to talk about the best book in all of Vinland Saga, because all of them are the best book.
Yeah, true, so true. We're covering English Book 10, which is Japanese volumes 19 and 20. 10, it's pretty crazy how far we are, honestly, double digits. But yeah, so Japanese volumes 19 and 20, chapters 130 to 144. So we're getting very close now. I can't believe it.
Wow.
I know. I never thought we'd get here. You know, my goodness.
You say wow, we're so close, but this is actually the book that I the last book that I had when I caught up to it. So to me, this feels like the end in a way.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Like after the anime was released, this was the latest English book released.
Yeah.
And so I read up to this point, and I'm like, so in my brain, I'm like, what we have so much left, like before we hit this, because we're on. So we end this on 144, and we're on 194 right now. Then we've got an extra 50 chapters. What is? I've been around for 50 chapters.
So
well, that's not quite true,
what's it been, like 3-4 years or something? Like, how long? When did you start?
So it's been 3 years, but basically, like when I read up to this, like the next English release came out like 6 months later or so.
Ooh.
So like I finished in July and it came out in December. So like there were chapters out already, and like even when I read up to that English book, there was already like another 5 chapters to read after that. So that's when I started reading online. Like this is when I started like actually engaging with the community, because yeah. So I basically read the rest of the book and I was like, wow, that was good. I need more. Give me more. And so I read up to the answer to that. So I caught up on chapter 165, basically. But anyway, this kind of feels like it was like weird to me that I've been around for basically 40 or 30 chapters or so. That's insane to me. But it goes by. Like, it feels so long, but it goes by.
It's been monthly
It's
the
like
whole time?
Monthly the whole time.
Jesus.
And he missed maybe 3 months or something.
Terrible. Where's his work
terrible.
ethic? My goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Generally, he misses 1 or 2 a year. So
yeah.
But in this stretch, when he's writing here if you look on the release chart or the hiatus chart that exists on the internet, like he doesn't miss a month for like 3 years. Oh man, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
He's got a water right. My goodness.
It's during this arc. It's during this arc that he's just insane output.
He has all these ideas he needs to come up with and put out there. Yeah. In this book, we get War in the Baltic, pretty much. Like the whole book is just about that. And it hasn't finished yet. So the events we actually get Floki arriving in Jomsburg, and then we meet Baldr and Garm, who are like the 2 big new characters. Then we get, at the same time, we get Hild and Thorfinn meeting Vagan, and what is this? Thorkell fights against Vagan, but then after Garm kills Vagan, he swaps sides, and now he's fighting against Floki. And then Thorfinn and Garm have a fight in the like forest, or something equivalent to a forest. And then a battle begins between Floki and Thorkell, and Gudrid is left behind in Jomsburg. So those are like the big things. A lot of stuff happens in this book, but those are like the biggest like things, I guess, that happen. But in terms of overall thoughts, this is good. It feels like things are really heating up here. Like it's not like a setup kind of book, similar to how I would say the last 2 kind of felt, but this one is like, it feels like it started at like a point where the battle is like beginning, and now it's ended where the battle is like mid-battle or something. So it's like it's a lot of action, but it's still building up, which is it's a strange place or a strange book to have. Like I feel like Like once again, it ends on a cliffhanger for like the third time in a row now. Like all these books are ending on cliffhangers. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's not really like, say, book 3 of Vinland Saga, where like so much happens and you are in the middle of a battle, because stuff happens and like you finish the battle and then you continue on, you know, like, so like it is weird. It's probably the longest like individual battle in Vinland Saga. Like even like the first arc is like just a lot of smaller battles kind of tied together in this general, like, as they're trotting around England, and eventually climaxes Askeladd, killing Sven and having his moment and dying, basically. Yeah. Right? And so that's like the prologue, but like it is weird. Like this book is a weird book. I was saying that like I finished on this book before I continued, but I didn't actually know which chapter it ended on, so I guess I'm a fraud. I guess I can't remember that.
Yeah, I thought you were a real fan.
So just kind of merge. Oh my goodness. So 10 and 11 merge in my mind together, basically. So
yep.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting.
Overall thoughts. I like Garm. Garm is great. And thank God we get the Thorkell that I love. We get him back. You know, after his caricature last book, we get him. He's good Thorkell once again.
I was hoping and praying that you because I was like, Thorkell's back in this book. Like he's like depressed, not, but he's like very self-aware. So
yeah. I like this is the one I love. What else do we get? I guess the last kind of overall thought. It feels at this point that Thorfinn is approaching his greatest challenge once again. Like it really feels like, we'll talk about it in the Thorfinn section, but it really feels like everything is like pushing Thorfinn, and he's really being challenged at this point. So I don't know how he's gonna address all these challenges facing him, but I like it a lot. But
okay,
yeah, so that's all the overall thoughts. So
nice.
Are you ready for standout art?
Oh, of course I am.
All right, we've got 5 pieces of standout art this time. So the first one is of Garm killing one of Baldr's what do you call it? Servants, I guess.
Slaves.
Slaves? Are they are slaves,
maids.
Right? Yeah, maids, slaves,
they would
servants.
be slaves.
Yeah. Just out of nowhere in the background, you have this smiling Baldr in the background. This spear. I don't even know what you'd call this weapon. I guess the whatever you would call that going through her. It's crazy.
It's a spear.
Spear, yeah.
Or javelin.
Which he had a cool, like, the way they describe, or Thorfinn described how he used it was really cool. How he's like, he like lets it slip and like grabs it at the end. And I'm like, man, I could imagine that. Like, it's so cool. But the next piece.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. We'll talk about that with Garm. We'll talk about.
Yeah. We got a whole.
I'm going to restrain what I need. We're going to hold back a little bit.
Okay. Let's get through the standout art. So we got the next one is after. Maybe not what you'd expect, but after Thorfinn finds out that Floki killed his dad, or orchestrated the death of his dad, we get this one, which is a sad Thorfinn kind of, or just a confused Thorfinn, like sitting on a rock contemplating the situation he's in with Hild watching him. I like that a lot. I think
he says,
yeah,
I want to be a kinder person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. Okay, continue. I'll leave my thoughts for
okay.
Once I've seen all your standout arts.
I got 3 more. So the third standout art here is from the bonus chapter, Dogland Saga, I think it was called.
Based.
Which is the final page, I think, which is just Carly's mama just saying, I hope everything goes well, basically, and then you like pan out and it's just this tiny boat in the middle of this dark ocean.
Yeah.
Very, very ominous and very very effective at, I don't know, in creating an impending sense of dread, like this empty ocean they're in, you know, anything could go wrong. So good art. Now, the fourth one, second last one, is the fight between Thorkell and Garm.
Oh, yeah.
And where you've got just
such a sick.
I love it. Like it shows you got the 2 doubles, like you got 2 Thorkells there, you got 2 Garms, you got all these like swings going on.
You actually got 3 Garms there.
Do you have 3 Garms? Oh, you do. I didn't even see the third one. Yeah, that's sick. And it just shows that he's faster. So fast. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I love it. Good stuff.
Okay, I like how we have the same interpretation at the same time. This is the first time I've noticed there's 3 Garms. So like we have the same exact interpretation that he's faster, and not Yukimura being bad.
No.
Not matching it up.
Man, what a fight.
Okay.
What a fight.
Yeah.
Now the final standout art is a locked away Garm behind the prison bars. Like he's caged away, you know, it's sad, but I love it. You think that's funny? My goodness. This poor man, this poor suffering man, and you call him this funny? My God.
Okay, hold on. I have to show you this meme because I think you've seen it by now. Okay, so while I find this meme that I'm gonna post, I'm surprised you didn't. So when you talk about Thorfinn,
yep,
like after he's found about Floki, I'm surprised you didn't have the one where he's like, this is the iconic one. When he's gripping his face.
Yeah,
like, the flames are coming off of him.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't have that one. I was
you know what? It was a candidate, but I was like, I need to find 5 here. Like I had so many other ones as well, but I don't know. I think I prefer this sad one than or not sad, but like kind of like the somber one compared to like the angry one, I think. But man, that's also great. One. The one with his face, yeah.
Okay, because that's the one where, like, you know, when there was like some memes about anime and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm about to go berserk." Oh. I think it was like the Tokyo Revengers meme. Yeah, there's like I'm about to go Vinland Saga.
Yeah, awesome.
And here's another one you can put in the video. I love this one. It's like, I love this meme.
Oh wow! Yep. Amen.
For Garm, good meme template.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of Garm,
yes, that is the first section we've got here. Oh Jesus, what did I do to my notes? Here we go. Garm is the cover of this book. Can you believe it? I saw him. I was like, "Who is this?" I thought it was Thorfinn at first. I'm like, "What's going on here? Did he change his hair again?" But
he goes Super Saiyan.
It looks like a Super Saiyan 3. It's crazy. But it's Garm. So obviously he's a big deal in this book. And my first, when I looked at it closer, I'm like, this isn't Thorfinn. The first thing I thought is that it feels like a Thorfinn who's gone down the wrong path, where, I kind of got this impression, like, just seeing that picture, and then, because he kind of looks like to me, he looks like the prologue Thorfinn, kind of like with his hair, like, all out and spiky, and, like, he's short, and, I don't know, he kind of gave me that impression. And then he kind of feeds through the book as well, like, where he's got, like, he's faster than Thorfinn, and he's got the skills of Thorfinn, and, like, I don't know, he just kind of gave me that vibe, you know?
Okay, one quick thing. So you said your impression of him was that he's short.
Yeah. Is he not short?
Yeah, no, he's like a tall, lanky guy.
Really? Jesus.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay, because I always got the impression that he was a tall, lanky guy, but I can't remember if this is like my brain doing revisionist history, because, you know, on this video that like I got a bunch of people together, basically, I mean, anybody that's watching this that watches my stuff probably knows already. I probably told them like in DMs or something. If not, this is my next video. It's like a big quiz, and one of the questions is like related to their weight and height. And most people were like, "Oh, Garm's one of the lightest. He's like super light.
Yeah,
he's
I would have said that
and
too.
He's skinny."
Yeah,
and I was like, no, he's like normal average weight. I think he is like 6 foot tall. Like he's a tall lad. Not as tall as our best boy, Aina, of course, because Aina's the Chad. But yeah, he's 180 centimeters tall, so he's not quite 6 foot.
Interesting.
He's like 5'10".
I wonder if you get that impression because he fights Thorkell. That's kind of like the main person you see him next to, I guess.
Maybe. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, because my impression, because you do have him like next to Thorfinn, then I was like, this guy's kind of tall. Because like that was like, but I don't know where I got the impression that he's lanky from. But I also don't know where. It's one of those interesting things. Anyway, but yeah. You're correct. I love that I like the idea that he's. I mean, people use this as a bit of a way to denigrate Garm and say, "Oh, he's like a shonen character," and this arc is bad because it becomes shonen.
Interesting.
And by that they mean that he's kind of goofy, and they kind of he has this kind of anime spiky hair, so he kind of looks like Goku. But I kind of view him as like shonen Thorfinn in a way. Like, if Yukimura was like, man, fighting's cool, and let's show you this really, really cool guy. I mean, I know Prologue Thorfinn's kind of shonen Thorfinn, but this is like super for shonen Thorfinn. Not to say shonen's bad, but like typical kind of Yukimura being like, yeah, as you say, if Thorfinn went down the wrong path and was like, fighting's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would also say that maybe, like, this could have been Thorfinn if he did kill Aslud. That's the direction where I feel like it is, to me, because, like, because I mean, it'll all blend in with all the other notes on Garm, but to me, like, I guess we can just talk about it, where Garm is all about, like, fighting and then wanting to be killed, it seems. Which, like, he does it twice. Like, when he's fighting Thorfinn, he says, like, why does it have to go like this just when I finally found someone who seemed like might be able to kill me? And he says, like, a similar thing when he fights Thorkell. He's like, let's do this again, and the next time we fight, finish the job and kill me. So, like, from this, there's, like, two ways I was interpreting this, which is either it's, like, probably what's more likely, which is, like, he's the person searching for meaning in life, where he finds his meaning for life, like, in the battle, like Thorkell and pretty much all the other Vikings. So he wants to fight a battle and then die and then go to Valhalla, like all the other Vikings. But the other way to take it, which is what I think would relate back to, like, him and Thorfinn's connection, like with if he killed his Aslud, for instance, is that if he just wants to die and he's afraid to kill himself, like he's for instance, if he's done something bad, like Thorkell, like, or if he's, say for instance, he did kill his Aslud, like imagine if Thorfinn did kill Aslud, what's he gonna do with his life going forward? Like, all he has is his skills. He feels accomplished because he killed Aslud, but, like, he's empty now. Like, he doesn't have a direction. Like, I don't know. Like, I can imagine, like, Thorfinn ending up like this if he, like, with this self-hatred that feels like it permeates Garm a lot, like, throughout this book. Which, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because Garm, the reason why, like, it feels a bit weird to say that is because I feel like Thorfinn would just be silent, depressed. Like, prologue Thorfinn amped up to the max, like, just as, because when Thorfinn's like, he's like angsty and he's this kind of edgy team, but Garm is kind of goofy. He's kind of like, he like
a shonen protagonist.
He seems like he seems like a home, like a like a happy chappy. You know, he's going around. He's pretty reasonable. Like he's kind of big brain. You know, he's thoughtful. Like
he kills Vargan.
Like he kills Vargan. Like he's got a brain on him, you know, like, and he thinks in his own independent way, like, so yeah, I'm not sure if it's necessarily 1-to-1, but I do think that's an interesting reading for sure. His backstory will be illuminated more.
Oh, I'm so happy, Bacon. I'm so happy. I had a note. I'm like, I really want to get a Garm backstory. Like, I like it a lot. I want to know more about him.
Okay, yeah, it's not like Hild long. So it's not a super long one, but, like,
I just want a little details.
His character's pretty, So it'll become more clear. But yeah, he's a very, like, I like, I like him as a character. I would go into the depth more, but I kind of want to hear what the rest of you are saying, just in case if you say it later. So
no, I mean,
so yeah.
All
I've points on Garm.
The only other point like, the whole thing is just about me trying to understand, like, what drives him, I guess. Like, why he wants to die.
Okay.
But the other thing I've got is that just in the Garm versus Thorfinn fight, I guess it's more of a Thorfinn point, but this is, like, the first fight where Thorfinn has actually struggled, like, since the prologue. Like, since his fight with Thorkell, I guess. Like, we've never, as far as I don't remember anything where Thorfinn has actually struggled since then. So this was really an interesting dynamic. And is there anything you can think
I guess he lost his fight with Snake, but
yeah, but that was like he tripped over again. It didn't feel like he was being.
He lost to Hild.
That's I guess it feels different though. Yeah, like he was like dominated in this fight basically. Like he had no chance, it seemed like. Whereas in the Hild one, it felt like he was close, but he just wasn't good enough. Like,
it also feels like Thorfinn's fighting uphill, like he's trying to reach her.
But
in this one, like, Garm is taking away every single one of his options. Like, he's just completely outclassed. Like, Hild feels like, okay, she's prepared for this. She's just got you in the tight spot. But, like, if this was a fair fight, you know, if it was like in a situation Garm and Thorfinn could beat her. You know? But I know what you mean. Garm being equated to Thorkell is not the worst link.
Yeah,
I'd say.
They fight later. It's crazy.
Yeah, they fight.
But with the Garm Thorfinn fight, the thing I thought was really cool is that when Thorfinn runs away at the end, he smiles at Garm. Like, I thought, I don't know, like, I just like that for some reason. Like it's Thorfinn. Ooh. Like he doesn't hate Garm for what he's doing. He just smiles at him and then he runs away. It kind of feels like they could become friends somehow, but like I don't know how that would happen. But like Thorfinn doesn't hate him. It feels like, which I think is just cool. Thorfinn's really cool. That's why he's my favorite character so far. But we'll see.
Yeah, well, the man's got no enemies. Even if they think he's an enemy, I mean, I love it. I'll probably reread this like he smiles at. So like, yeah, Garm's like,
it's like, oh, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So Garm's like thinking about it in circles, trying to think about so Garm is generally trying to, take seriously, what Thorfinn is saying, but yeah, I mean, but what is it? I mean, I like it because like Thorfinn so far has been faster than every single foe he's faced, you know, and this is kind of Thorfinn's deal. He can run. Yeah. Not just like in a fight, but that's what he's doing now. He says, I will run. If I get into a issue, I've always got this one trump card, which is fleeing the battle. But literally in this fight, he cannot flee the battle. It will catch up to him. Yeah. Metaphorically, because of his position, but also because Garm literally is faster than him. And I love this kind of like thing where it's like, sometimes Thorfinn will just have to fight. He has to use that last resort. So, and he doesn't want to use it, but like that's why it's the major challenge, Yeah. And Yukimura isn't letting him get off easy because of like, sometimes it's like you may get the wrong side of the stick, end of the stick, by being like, okay, well, how can I apply this philosophy? Because I'm not like a super duper fighter. I can't just, if I need to, beat basically anybody in any physical altercation if I need to. I'm not someone who can 1v10 a lot of Jorm's Vikings like that. Like Thorfinn's OP because of that. Like, how can I apply this in my own life? And so he's trying to neutralize Thorfinn's fighting strengths in a way. So yeah.
Thorfinn is challenged. It's not made easy for him to run away. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Maybe this was said by some other Australian at some point. I'm pretty sure.
Really interesting.
Thorfinn is challenged in the Baltic Sea War.
Yeah, I've seen a thumbnail for a video about the Baltic Sea War.
Yes,
now, have you? Yeah. So in regards to Garm, that's all the literal like notes I've got there. I don't know, good stuff. I think the other main thing I haven't really got notes on is just his fight with Thorkell, how he fights him to a stalemate, which is interesting. But we can talk about that in the Thorkell section. Maybe there's not too much.
Yeah. Okay. No. There's some small bits in there. But,
yeah. All right. Well, if we don't talk about it in Thorkell, we'll have to remember to. But yeah. So the next character.
I love this Thorfinn. Sorry, I love this Thorfinn Garm fight. It's like, I love how he's got the special spear. Like he's got all the options. He's got the range. He's got the short range.
So cool.
And I love how it does the shonen anime thing where Thorfinn's like, he holds the tip of the spear. That's how he gets more range on it than your average human or something like that.
I love that description. Athletic. It feels like I could imagine being in Garm's position and like throwing it, but like grabbing it and then like, I don't know, all the unique things you can do with it. Yeah, it feels like I can feel the power or like the technique in it. It feels cool.
Yeah, I think this is really why I like the quote-unquote power system in Vinland Saga. I mean, first of all, I like these types of power systems when they're in manga more than in anime because I can read it longer and understand it. But it's just so intuitive.
Yeah.
In Vinland Saga, like because it is real world battle and you're just like, okay, of course the spear has more range. If you know stuff about weapons and like a spear is like just such a basic but strong weapon.
Yeah.
It's one of the best like. It's a noob weapons for sure because you can just hold it out in front of you. If you've got a lot of people together, you can hold it together and they're really strong together. It's not like a sword where you can, you can swing and leave yourself vulnerable. If you've got a spear, you can just extend it and then bring it back. It goes quite a safe item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Thorkell with a log. Imagine if it was sharp. Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah. Oh man, battle. The magic system in Vinland Saga. Logs are strong. Can't believe that.
Yeah. But
I found.
Yeah.
One little picture of Goofy Garm.
I was going to say the logs took out Thorkell. It was crazy.
My goodness. Oh yeah. Thorkell lost, but then you got this. Here's a picture in Thorfinn Garm's fight. The end of his spear gets tapped on a tree because it's so long, and he goes gash. And I love that little goofy face he's got. Oh, it's so cute. Look at him. He's like, my spear. See, he's just a fun guy.
Yep.
Good
old guy. And it was pretending, he split his spear in half, took out that knife. It's great.
Oh, yeah. It was the old bait switch.
Yep. So
apparently made with no screws.
Yeah, he put that in the volume bonus, I think, or something, which was interesting.
It's like, Hild can invent ball bearings, but can't think of a screw? Unbased.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe it'll come in handy. What weapon could use a ball bearing? I'm sure there's something out there.
Her skateboard, her fidget spinner.
Yeah, like a batarang or whatever for Batman. You can make one of those.
Yeah, that's what Hild's gonna make.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for her to make the Glock,
Oh, yeah, of course.
This out.
Yeah.
Like, Thorkell comes at her and she's like...
Yeah, she could invent a nuclear bomb. Why not?
She could. Yeah. She could. Oh.
Okay. All right, we're going to talk about Thorfinn. Are you ready for Thorfinn?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so...
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry.
Thorfinn.
You said there's a lot of breadth, and I'm making this breadth and stretching out.
I love it. No, well, these are the two important characters anyway, Garm and Thorfinn.
All right, cool.
So, the first thing is that at the end of the last book, he had a choice. He's like, do I go with these Jorm's Vikings or do I do my own thing? And he chose not to go with them, but he ended up there anyway because they tricked him. They're like, oh, we're going to take you somewhere. Then they didn't take him there. So, interesting. That was cool. The big thing, which we talked about a little bit in the standout art, is that he finds out that Floki orchestrated the death of Thor's, which it seems so, like, it's such an obvious thing that he would have to find out eventually, but it never crossed my mind. Like, I never considered what would happen if Thorfinn learned that. Like, that's it's a big challenge for him, obviously. Like, he thinks he's going to kill him if he sees him, but I don't know, it's just something I'd never thought of, like a small little thing. But from that, like, from when he learns that, the interesting thing is that Hild is there when he learns that, and like that kind of we don't get anything about it, but I feel like that would strengthen the kinship between Hild and Thorfinn eventually, like slowly over time, where it's like it's a similarity, I guess, that they have, that both their fathers were killed. And I don't know, directly in this book, the way Hild takes it is that she kind of calls Thorfinn a hypocrite, which is like, if you kill this man, then I'm going to kill you because we got the same problem here, and so. I think that's the immediate thing that Hild takes out of this connection, but I feel like over time it could develop into kind of a kinship. But yep. Any thoughts on that?
No, not really. I mean, I think, I mean, it's just a cool reveal. You're like, oh, finally, like, it does feel a bit, some points in the prologue, I'm just like, why doesn't Askeladd just tell him, like, it is Floki or whatever? But I mean, Askeladd does, he's using Thorfinn. Another point for Askeladd not really caring that much about Thorfinn. He can use him.
Yeah.
Because Askeladd did kill his dad, but, whatever, like.
Yep.
I mean.
He used Thorfinn until his last scene when he gave him advice. At that point, he's like, I might as well help out this little lad,
Yeah. But then even then, like, who knows? Thorfinn probably wouldn't believe him if Askeladd was like, hey, it was that guy. Like,
he points at him.
So he points at him across the king's floor, and he's like, oh, that's the man that killed you, that hired me to kill your father, or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, and Thorfinn would be like, well, you still killed my father.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, both of them are bad. So I hate you both, and I'll kill you both. So, and with Hild, she's not exactly helpful to Thorfinn. There's two things there. So she, actually, maybe this was last book, but yeah. So maybe it's this book she apologizes. So she shoots a Jorm's Viking early last book. When they're in like the situation when they find them in the market, and she shoots like the guy before Thorfinn sees Thorkell.
Yep.
And then she apologized later on the boat that she acted too quickly. And then this time, like, she talks about like, oh yeah, because when he like in chapter 129, she talks about how she only helped out Thorfinn in this fight because she made the mistake last time. That's her kind of like, it's kind of her just like in a way, well, she needs to be the one that kills him, but then she also, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not sure if it's at this point if she's being hypocritical or she's being consistent. I can't quite remember at this point. But like is she helping out Thorfinn and she's just giving it a reason just so she can justify it to herself or not? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But she also kind of goads Thorfinn later. She just said, "Oh, like Thorfinn's like being somber on a rock," and he's like, "Oh, I just want to be a kind person," and he was just like, "Nope, you always be a bad person."
Yep, it's true.
He was like, "Oh," and then he was being a bit of a dick. So,
but you know what? But over time, she'll learn to love him. I'm sure.
Maybe, but then she's pretty based. She's like, "No, I don't like women getting sexually, whatever. Let's go
you know what?
save
We'll save that for the Hild section. We got a bit to talk about that.
Hild's got a section I forgot.
Don't you worry. We got a section for basically every character. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Cool.
So, another thing.
We have a section for bug guys, right?
You know, we don't, but we could. Like, some stuff happens. We
need one. He has a big moment.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Maybe we'll put it in the miscellaneous section. So, with Thorfinn, another big thing that happens with him in this book is we cover kind of what I talked about in my predictions last book, which is that he talks about his trust in Canute, basically, where Vargan is telling him, "You're this evil Floki man, he has to be stopped," and then Thorfinn is like, "That's not my job. Like, that's Canute's job." So I don't know. I thought it's cool. It's kind of what I was expecting to happen, and it happened. I was like, "Wow, I'm just a predictive genius. My goodness." But throughout the book, it does seem that Thorfinn is getting a bit frustrated with Canute. Like he has this one scene where he's like what's Canute doing? Like he's letting the Jomsvikings like destroy like all this thing, like everything going on. But I mean, we eventually find out that Canute orchestrated all of this. Crazy. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it seems obvious in retrospect because like Canute is all about poisoning and like killing people. But I don't know. I just never crossed my mind that Canute could have done it.
I mean, last book you were like, well, what does Canute have to do with this? I was like,
big part of it.
I was like, I was like the typical manga reader, like,
this fool,
like, you know, like the meme where those stupid anime onlys, or whatever. What's the meme when they spoil it anyway? It's like, this is not. I can't remember the meme, but there was like this thing where like manga readers would pretend like they're not spoiling something, but they actually are. Yeah. Oh yeah, they pretend to be an anime only, and they make the most perfect prediction. That's what they do. They'd be like, the classic. But I was like, so I rubbed my hands. I was like, yes, he's gonna get what he wants. I like that. Yep. Yeah,
good stuff. Yep. So Thorfinn, he finally notices that he is beginning to slip. He has like this quote where he says, "We can't help it. We can't help it. That's all I've been saying since we reached the Baltic Sea." Where like this is something I was kind of thinking like in the fight in 129 where it's like he's actually fighting these people. I tried to go through like what could he be thinking of, and so since he reached the Baltic Sea or like kind of on this arc, he's had to fight Hild. Like he had no choice but to fight her. He had to go and meet Thorkell and Floki. He had no choice when the people found out who he was. He had to fight the Jomsvikings in 129, and now he had to fight Garm. Like there was no option there. So it's like he's really, and I'm glad he's noticing this, that it is a pattern where it's like, I guess there's nothing I can do, but where his challenge is really to find another thing to do. So I don't really, he doesn't really take action on this or anything in this book. I think that's what the cliffhanger at the end of this book is about. But I just thought it was good how he's noticing this. Like it's a big moment where he's like, he's reaffirming his stance. Like he's noticing that he's not being as good as he was hoping he would be. Which I like, reaffirming stuff. It's like when just the small thing, like last book where when he wakes up after the fight with Hild, and then him and Einar are like talking about how like, don't sacrifice yourself, and like they're reaffirming there, and here once again they're reaffirming their like position. I like it.
Yeah, he's just a simple merchant,
Yeah.
Understandably frustrated. For sure.
Okay. Well, the last, I guess now to lead into what's going to happen next book. I think, like I said before, I think this is Thorfinn's grandest challenge so far. So he's got to deal with Floki, who killed his dad. So I think that's the biggest challenge for him here. He's got the Jomsvikings being at war, and one of the sides wants him as their leader, which is a big deal. He's gonna have to deal with. He's also got at the same time the enemy, who is Baldr, siding with him, like where potentially he would like Thorfinn to be a leader because he thought that Thorfinn was in charge and everything. So you got that as another challenge. You've got Garm, who wants to fight him, which is obviously a big challenge as well. And now you've also got Gudrid being stuck in Jomsburg. So Thorfinn is just being barraged with challenges. And like we get this great like visual in the last in chapter 144 where it's just all these different speech bubbles of like different people like demanding things from Thorfinn. It's just it's poor man, you know, he's got so much to deal with. But yeah, next book's gonna be really interesting for Thorfinn. So I'm looking forward to it. But that's all I've got for Thorfinn notes directly. So anything else you want to talk about with him? A lot happens, I guess. So
yeah, well, I mean, I just like that you pick up that like he's progressively getting more and more frustrated, and I feel like there's something that on initial read through for a lot of people, including myself, I felt the frustration for Thorfinn as like a reader. I'm just like, dude, I just want to see him go to Greece, right?
Yeah,
but I didn't really notice on my first read through like how Thorfinn felt like he's losing grip, and I think that's in some ways like for whatever reason I think a lot of people don't always buy in that Thorfinn is slipping. Yeah, for whatever reason, at least I didn't. Yeah, even though the evidence is clearly there, and so that kind of can make the climax of this book feel a little odd if you're not noticing that.
Interesting.
I'll just leave it there because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't really want to give you like a intuition of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's just regardless of what happens, you know what like you know it's you're not getting the build up to his arc and his climax in this book, and so lots of people kind of talk about like, oh, he's already had his arc, you know, in Farmland.
Yeah, and
that's just because that arc is much more obvious. Like this arc still has a character arc for Thorfinn. So.
Yeah, I mean, I like Thorfinn as much as like he's still my favorite character, easily, and I do like that he's just struggling here. So yeah, Thorfinn, that's it, nothing else. He does nothing in this book. Useless character. Let's move on. Let's move on to Hild. Are you ready?
Get him out of here.
The best character, Hild.
Yeah, best character.
Who is, like you said last book, you said pay attention to her in the background because there's a lot of shots with her in the background.
Yeah,
but I don't think she says much. But anyway, the one thing she does is she calls Vargan out for being a hypocrite. Where like they're eating at the table, and Vargan's like, oh, you know, we're not like Floki. We don't like, I don't know, we don't do bad things. And then she calls him out and being like, oh, where'd you get this food? Where'd you get this land? Like, it's great. And then she runs away. So Hild good. But other than that, we also get, like I said, like a bunch of small shots, but. I think it is interesting that we get so many panels, like small panels just of her. And they all tend, at least what I noticed, is that they all tend to focus around when she's learning things about Thorfinn. Because obviously she's always around Thorfinn, like that's her thing. So I feel like this is just, it's, like I said before, and I think it was the Thorfinn section, it feels like it is building up like her empathy for Thorfinn in a way, like very slowly. Like I don't think she's anywhere near to like, to understand him any better, but it's certainly to me feels like she is like slowly developing an empathy for him, which is interesting. Yeah.
And to build on that like this is the one panel which I just found from 144, but it's a good example of like
yes,
Thorfinn being like, "Hail Thorkell," and then he was like, "Holy crap, this guy's big."
Yeah, that was a great panel. Yeah.
I just read this again for the first time. I hadn't really clocked this before, but yeah, Thorfinn goes, "Oh, what happened to your hair?" And then the next panel, like, because it's not the focus. It was such a good joke. Actually, this is hilarious. Thorkell goes, "My hair? Whoa, what's going on up there?"
Yeah,
because this is something that people complain about. Yeah, okay, yeah, because good comedy, man.
Yeah, there's no mirrors, you know. How's he gonna look at himself?
Yeah, I think this is another thing. Like, lots of people talk about the comedy. You got Sigurd and you got Bug Eyes. You got like Sigurd.
Yep. Don't you worry, we'll talk about
like,
Sigurd
and stuff like that.
My goodness.
Good funny times. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, no. some of the coolest panels are just like stuff's going in the foreground, and then you get an expression of Hild in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Leaf and like and I know on the battlefield. Oh, this is so good. Oh, it's just
like when he grabs them, it's just it's so funny.
This is stuff that I just don't clock on the first time. As the funny joke. There's a few things.
I love it.
Oh, there's another joke. Oh,
it better be good. You better find it.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite joke in this. I'm not sure. Is it? Did you get like two guys, like two Jormsviking talking to each other, and like he's like, "Oh, look, there's my brother down there. Let me go throw him a ring."
Yeah,
that's my favorite joke in all of Vinland Saga. It's so dark and just hilarious. Like, that's like peak humor right there.
Yeah, like he shoots his own brother, and then he gets shot, and it's like, God damn.
Yeah, it is so funny. And like. Yeah, I was like, "Oi, Eric, the lefty, look up here."
Yep.
Yeah, it's in 143. If anybody wants to read it again, so some of the humor can get a little overbearing for me. Particularly in next book, there's just a few moments, and maybe you'll like it. But
I like the humor. There is one
people do comment about.
I think
there's one moment you didn't like.
Well, no. Not this book. In general, I think I brought it up in the last book or 2 books ago, maybe. It was just the humor surrounding Carly initially. Like, I like Carly now, but like when they got him, I thought it was just too like it's a serious thing to like have a baby now, and I thought it was just too much of a joke initially. But you know what? I like him now, so it's all good.
Yeah. Jokes work in the long run. So if you're someone who kind of only read Vinland Saga once, and because this is one of the big things that people dislike about Baltic Sea, I just feel like it's too many jokes.
Interesting.
At least here, like it's not serious. Like it's a shonen now. It's not a serious thing.
And you can empathize, right, with what's her name? Not Helga. Jesus, Ylva punching Thorfinn, right?
Yeah. No, that. I mean, yeah, exactly. I understand completely. I was complaining about it like a few books ago. Like,
yep.
But anyway, sometimes you just need a bit of time to be like, yeah, no, it's actually really funny. So, oh yeah, how many logs does it take to get Thorkell down here?
I'm surprised that the logs work.
2,
it was great.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 logs.
But then he catches them.
That's a lot of logs.
And then they light it on fire. He catches them.
He's like, yeah, dude. Logs would never go that. It's so unrealistic. Logs would never be on fire that fast. Like they actually take a long time to burn. That's like they're big pieces of wood.
Thorkell is just surrounded by unrealism. He has like a reality distortion field around him.
I can't believe it,
Anyway, Hild. We're talking about Hild. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I can't believe my waifu.
Yes. Okay, you ready for the next Hild point?
Oh yeah. I'm ready for it.
So, I got the impression, which I was never expecting, that Hild feels very innocent about the cruelty of the world. Like when she sees the slave women being or becoming slaves, I guess, to the Jormsvikings, and then like being taken to that barn and I'm assuming raped. I don't know, she reacted to it. Like I feel like I assumed for some reason that she would be aware of all these terrible things happening, but it does feel like she has just been hunting and like I guess searching for Thorfinn in a way. But she's more innocent than I expected, which is interesting.
Yeah, okay, I guess that is a way to put it. Yeah, she pays attention, but yeah, she wouldn't have ever seen a battle. She wouldn't have only seen a battle once, and that's when her village gets destroyed. But yeah. And then we got a feminazi on our hand. Can't believe it. Feminist daddy again.
I know, terrible.
Jeez Louise. Calling out male toxic Mexican.
Can you believe it?
It was one of those things, like, I can't believe my brain thought of this, but I was like, man, there's people are going to complain about this being a feminist moment or something for Hild.
Yeah.
I don't know, like when I read it first.
Wait, so about the slave women particularly?
About the slave women. Yeah. And there aren't, but my brain thought of it, like, and how I can't unthink about it.
Bacon, you're a terrible person. My goodness.
I know, exactly.
Okay. One thing I took from the from her innocence and learning about what's happening with these slave women is I feel like she could take from that or one of many things that she's taken, I guess, over this journey, is that she could learn that people are a victim of their upbringing, where, like, Thorfinn, like, I don't know, like, this is the world that Thorfinn was raised in, that she never had an experience of. Like, these are the men that Thorfinn was around when he was growing up. And I don't know, I feel like she, from all these experiences and the bad things she's seeing, I feel like she could learn some, like, I don't know why I'm so, like, hell-bent on her feeling empathy for Thorfinn, but I feel like that's, like, a thing I'm noticing in this book. But we'll see. You know, maybe she will not learn anything about Thorfinn, and she'll kill him in the end, but, anyway, Hild.
Thorfinn has to kill Garm, and,
Kill Garm. My goodness.
Yeah, and then she has to shoot him.
Yeah. And then Einar will kill her, and then Gudrid will kill him, and and Sigurd will kill Gudrid, and then it'll just go on forever.
Yeah, Sigurd's gonna kill Gudrid.
Yes. Okay. My last Hild point is just a hypothetical of if Thorfinn was gravely injured, I wonder what Hild would do. Like, would she nurse him back to health so that she could kill him at his full health, or would she kill him now? Like, I really don't know what she would do.
I think it depends on what Thorfinn is, you know.
Yeah.
So like, if Thorfinn has killed someone, then she would feel justified in killing him. But if he just, say if like he got but like say if
Garm
hurt him and like stabbed him tons, and he didn't want to fight Garm, then I think Hild would save him. I feel like Hild has a lot of honor and has a strong sense of justice. And a right sense of justice in a way. Like, she's not like Prologue Thorfinn, where Thorfinn is just like, oh, I have a strong sense of justice just for revenge, or whatever. She actually has compassion for other people, unlike Prologue Thorfinn, when she sees, people, women not having the best of time, shall we say, with other Vikings. Like, she stands up for them, so regardless, she has a strong sense of fairness. That's probably a better way of putting it as well. So even when she's done something wrong or made a mistake, she feels like she owes Thorfinn back. So like, she's definitely more likable, I feel, than Prologue Thorfinn in a way. So, and that's important, because in a way, what Thorfinn is also trying to do by not letting her kill him is not letting her be poisoned by the cycle of vengeance permanently. Like, she can still be saved in a way, because she hasn't done anything bad yet. She hasn't killed anybody yet, basically. So
I wonder if she will ever kill anyone in this story.
We will have to see.
Yeah, I wonder if any of the crew will ever kill anyone ever again. I wonder. Interesting thing to think about.
Kali, man.
Yeah,
Kali's mum are gonna come in hot.
Yeah, maybe. Well, Floki and Baldr, they're next. Unless anything else about Hild?
No.
Okay, Floki and Baldr. I put them in the same heading because there's just not too much about them to talk about. But so in regards to Floki, we opened this book with him, arriving at Jomsburg and spending time with Baldr. And I thought initially it was interesting that I thought he actually liked Baldr. I was like, oh, he loves him. Like, he treats him like a grandson. He's fishing with him. I thought that was cool. But then later on, it feels more like Floki is, like, he probably still likes, like, he loves him or whatever, but it feels like he sees him more as a vessel for his own legacy than like his own person.
That's a great way of putting it. That's a great way. Floki's really confusing, I find, and his motivation, because normally Yukimura doesn't want to seem anybody like irredeemably evil. And in some ways, he gives Floki like forgivable traits by making him actually like a loving grandfather. Yeah, but also like toxic in a way that he like
he thinks he knows what's best for him. Like, he's not letting him live his own life in a way.
He's like, I've built up all this stuff for you, Baldr, so you better like it. You know? Like, I haven't. So it's not even a legacy is a great way to put it. Like, he wants to defend his legacy, but in a way, he also, to be even more charitable, you could say he wants the best life for his family and his kin as much as possible. And so that's why he's worked so hard he's morally degraded himself so much for it, and they better like it, I guess.
Yeah.
Better appreciate it. But even if they don't actually appreciate it, but anyway, Floki's has been a little tough for me to be like, how much does he actually care about Baldr, and how much is it just selfish? And it is a mix of both. But yeah, I don't know. It's a bit hard. Like it gets contextualized more later on, but it's also
because Thorfinn hasn't killed him yet.
Just because because like the lengths Floki goes to protect Baldr is like ridiculous. So like it's interesting. So
yep, Floki's a guy. Floki's a grandpa, but he likes his grandson, but you know what? He knows what's best. He
grandpa at age 50 or whatever, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, Floki's family is confusing. I had that whole theory last book. I think it still pans out, where it's like him and his daughter and Sigvald's son must have got together. Then they had Baldr, or I don't know. We'll see. But more in regards to Baldr specifically, he just doesn't want to be a leader. Like he just wants to live he wants to fish with his grandpa, basically, which makes sense. He's just a 10-year-old, like.
He's a 10-year-old kid that wants to play his video games,
Yeah.
Like that's what he just wants to do.
He doesn't want to lead these band of Vikings. Like he's just a person he wants to stop the fighting. Like in the end, he's like, if like, can you guys just talk to Thorfinn and we can make him the leader? Like he's probably a better leader than me. Like he's a very I don't know, he's a good person. Like he wants to live a good life, but also at the same time he wanted the best outcome for this war. Like I don't know. He's a poor guy, being caged by his family in a way. Baldr. But yeah, I was surprised to see him in the prison. Like he was the one to free Gudrid and Einar and leave. It was surprising. Like I thought more. Like I didn't know he had so much, not power, but like so much influence, I guess. I guess it makes sense. But yeah. Anything about Baldr, I guess. That's all I've got for Baldr.
Thorfinn and Baldr parallels.
Thorfinn and Baldr parallels. I haven't thought about that.
Okay, I won't say anything.
Okay,
because I can't remember exactly what happens in each book, but we can talk about it next book.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. No, we don't get too much of Baldr in this. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all the scenes are just him and Floki, and then we get that one scene at the end with him freeing the three.
It's just like him and Thorfinn are both being pushed for this position. They kind of look similar at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
all right, we'll talk about that next book then. All right. Baldr.
We'll talk about that next book. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm remembering some moments now. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay, well, next up is Gudrid. And the reason I put her after Floki and Baldr is because she has like a speech with Baldr. So I only have one note for her mainly, which is that she I mean, maybe more parallel with her and Baldr in my opinion, which is the fact that she understands what it's like to be raised to be something that you're not, like something that you don't want to be. And she has this great speech, which is that like when it's something awful, something you really must get away from, I think it's okay to run away sometimes. Some might call you a coward or irresponsible, and you might disappoint people you truly care about, but even still, you should come ride on our boat. I don't know, like it's great. It's just her like using the lessons she learned and her life experience on this young person who might be struggling with the same thing, which is why Gudrid's great. She sees that in him. But,
then I also love like when Garm's in the cage, like Gudrid is going on a rant about how she hates all these people here, like why, and then Garm's like, do you think anybody inside these walls thinks the way you do or whatever? And I was just like, oh, that's like imposing. Yeah, that's a good point. So I can't remember which chapter that is, but I probably like 141, I guess. Let me see.
You know what? I think it is.
Okay, yes. Oh, actually, no. Bad humor is in this. It's in this. It's in this part. It's in this book.
What happens?
When I say bad humor, Gudrid makes like a fart joke. They're like, because they're escaping, and then she's like, "Oh, I made a very loud fart." And I was like, "Okay, not quite as funny." That's interesting. Best joke and worst joke are in the same chapter. I never noticed that before.
My goodness. So what, the best
Oh,
joke
but
is
you
the
like
fart
fart
joke,
humor.
right?
Oh yeah, I guess true. That's how it
What's
is.
the worst joke?
Oh no, the worst joke is the fart.
Yeah,
the best joke is the one by
I know.
Eric.
Yes,
Eric
yes. All right.
Oh, I had a whoosh moment. Oh
No. Hey, don't worry, mate. We'll cut it out. No one will ever know. No one will ever know.
No one knows. Oh, I can't believe it.
Okay.
I had Anyway, let me read this.
Go ahead.
What, we have a slave with a new hairstyle? No way, blonde slave with new hairstyle. I know they look all exactly the same, but
wait, do
Pog champ moment. Because you know the one that dies.
Yeah.
you know the one that dies. It just looks like it just looks like Canute's sister dying.
Yeah.
It's like that could be Canute's sister. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, they all look the same. That's the point.
That's the point.
Actually, we got other slaves. We got other slaves that look different.
We have Gudrid now, right? She's working for Baldr. That's the cover.
Yeah, but we got old grandpa slave, and then young man slave, and then like
dark hair slave. My goodness.
Dark hair. Oh, so it's like mixed between Hild and Gudrid. So pretty.
Crazy. Yukimura, he's getting better over all these books. My goodness.
Yeah, man. I can't find. Okay, so what ounce Garm's? It says 42. They get put in prison. Does he get let out? I can't remember. I'm trying to find this thing. Then we get them in Yorm's Viking gear. I love this. You know, Einar in Yorm's Viking gear. Then Leaf looks so cool. Look how cool Leaf looks.
Yeah,
I'm popping off so much. I love, man. This is me like full on. Like look at him. He's got a little helmet on. Oh, that's so cool.
Hey man, he's a veteran, but he is probably older than 50. He should be retired. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. But I like how Leaf has these odd words of wisdom. Like just some words. He's like, "Thank you." Cool stuff. Anyway, sorry, I'm sidetracking everything.
Gudrid. Don't worry, we still got like 6 characters to go. Well, not really. Okay. One small thing I've got, which is not really a well thought out thing, but that speech I talked about where she's like giving to Baldr about how like, it's fine to run away. Like some might call you a coward, but even then you should still come on our boat. I wonder if that sheds a bit more light on her stabbing Sigurd in a way, because like it is. I feel like it's pretty clear why she did it. Like she just wanted to get out and be her own person or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like this is like this thought could be something that went exactly through her head when she was not through her head because she wasn't aware of it, but like that's kind of what was in the back of her mind when she stabbed Sigurd in a way. Where I don't know.
Yeah.
Small thing. I don't really know what to say about it, but yeah.
I think her stabbing Sigurd is like completely instinct. And like she didn't really, her body just did it. She didn't think about it at all. Like that's why everybody's like, "Huh? What?
Yeah.
You stabbed him."
No, that's the way it's presented. Yeah.
So,
I mean, even on a meta perspective, like to us, it's meant to be a surprise.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like this is maybe even her reflecting on that moment afterwards, because she doesn't really understand it in the moment, but maybe afterwards when she's reflecting on it, this could be something to like justify it. I don't know. It's a small thing where I'm like, I wonder. Like it was when I read this, I kind of thought back to that scene for some reason. But yeah, so yeah, that's all I've got for Gudrid. So anything else? She doesn't have a big presence in this book, except for the great fart joke, of course, the best joke in this story.
Best joke in Vinland Saga.
Yep.
Actually, no. There's a better joke next book.
I can't wait.
Look out for it and keep a note on it. I'll give you a little prize if you find it.
All right.
That's my request to you. Next book.
All right. Are you ready for Thorkell? The great Thorkell the Tall, Thorkell the Invincible. So he would rather fight a general, which is Vargan, than a politician. Floki. Makes sense. Thorkell good. And yeah, the legendary Thorkell is back, the one that I like so much. And the thing that really made me like cement it is like, yeah, he's really back is when he gets that order from Canute and Wolf, and then he says that he's not a puppet. Like he's gonna fight. When he wants to fight, he'll die when he wants to die. And
because that's the Viking way.
Yep. And it's a serious like moment for him, he's not joking around. Like He chokes Wolf.
Grabs Wolf by the face. Yeah.
But then the great thing, the thing that makes it so much better, is the fact that after he's done with that, he celebrates. He's just happy. Like he's like a little child. Like he's innocent. He's happy.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes the moment so good for me. Like the two aspects of Thorkell.
He's fully self-aware.
Yeah.
And he understands that he's a big child. But like that's the thing. That's what we love about Thorkell. Like, and then he says something to Sigurd as well. Sigurd's like, I want to fight, and he's like, we're not so different, you know. Like we fight and fight, and we don't know what we live for. I can't quite remember the quote, but it's one of those somber things where you're like, holy crap! Like Thorkell understands like himself. He's not an idiot. He knows like he has issues, but
I remember also in the Garm versus Thorkell, like when Garm is like taunting him initially, and it's like, oh, Vargen, I killed him, he was nothing. And then Thorkell has that moment where he's like, you know what, Vargen wasn't as weak as you're saying he is. It's just a small moment where it's like kind of like Thorkell did respect Vargen. So I don't know, small thing. It's the small details with Thorkell that I like a lot.
And a small detail is that when Garm walks away, he says, "Oh, next time, just kill me."
Yeah.
And so it indicates that Thorkell was holding back and not trying to kill him. And this is the thing, right? This is Thorkell needs to keep his food alive so he can keep on playing with it. Otherwise, he gets depressed. And he knows that. So subconsciously or consciously, he doesn't go out his full on hardest, because if he did, like, he then, then he'd feel empty again, and he wouldn't have any more toys to play with. So
yep. So more on this Garm versus Thorkell fight. So can you believe it? Thorkell survived. I've been predicting for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 books or something. I'm like, Thorkell, next battle he's gonna die. This is the next fight, he's gonna die. And here we are. He survived.
He's gonna die.
No. I like when he got to this Garm fight, I was like, even before like ages ago. I think when
in previous books.
When
like
no. I mean
4.
like in this book, for instance, when Thorfinn and Garm were fighting, and then Thorfinn ran away. It was so obvious that what's his name? Garm is gonna fight Thorkell. I just thought like he's not gonna fight Thorfinn. I don't know what made it so obvious. It was like when he was looking out to all the ships or something, and I was like, why is he wanting to fight Thorfinn? Why doesn't he fight Thorkell? Because he wants a great warrior, and Thorkell is the greatest warrior. Like, why is he not fighting him? And then he fought him, and I just thought it was being set up for Thorkell to die, like to prove how strong Garm is, you know. So one day he can fight Thorfinn. But no, he didn't. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, and then the logs later, I was like, oh, this is the one. He's gonna die in this battle right here, and he didn't. So I'm like, you know what? I've got to. We'll talk about it in the predictions, but Thorkell, you know what? He's lived beyond what I expected. My goodness.
And so do you think he's not going to die now?
I will. You know, we'll see. We'll talk about it.
We'll see. Okay. Keep listening, viewers. Keep listening.
Stay right to the end. I'll leave it to the last prediction. Or maybe not. So.
Don't tell them that, otherwise they're going to skip it.
Oh, okay, you know, maybe I'll put it somewhere random in the. It might be in the miscellaneous notes section. I don't even know. Ooh. Anyway,
who knows?
So now this is kind of my last note on Thorkell, and it's kind of like a meme, but not really. But back in, I think it was even the book 1 discussion, like I don't know, months ago, whenever we talked about that, you asked who the villain was, and at the time I was like, I don't know, maybe we talked about maybe Floki or something, but it really feels like Thorkell. He might not be the villain, but he is like the antagonist to the entire story. Like he is the embodiment of everything that Thorfinn and Canute aren't. Like he is the true antagonist of this series. It really feels like, which is funny to think about. Like I would have never said that back then, but it really feels like that's the case.
What
crazy?
He's then so what I see Thorkell as is he's Yukimura saying like this is the greatest person this world creates in terms of stature, in terms of who is revered, who is loved by this Viking society, who gains the most glory. He's the equivalent of the billionaire in our society who has all this money and isn't actually fulfilled. And so through Thorkell, Yukimura shows that like even the greatest and the most successful in this system are not fulfilled because they rely on violence.
Yeah.
And it's not prosperous in any way. There's no situation in where, you know, being violent and war addicted is a good and fulfilling life. That's what he shows through Thorkell. And in a way, Thorkell's the quintessential and antithesis to this whole series.
So at the end, him and Thorfinn will hug, and they'll all be friends on Vinland, and it'll be good, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so. That's what happens.
Yep. So that's Thorkell. Next up, Sigurd. Remember Sigurd?
Yeah, Siggy, my boy.
Yes. Okay. So, the first thing I've got. Have you seen Star Wars? I would have like all the prequels and everything.
I have not seen all the prequels. Those are the only ones I haven't seen.
Really?
I don't care if you spoil me.
Okay. Well, the one note I've got
seen enough memes
for Sigurd is that him just being in the middle of this war just reminds me so much of C-3PO and R2-D2 ending up in the Battle of Geonosis. Like, because do you know anything about the Battle of Geonosis? Do you know what that is?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, there's this essentially it's a big battle.
Which movie is this in?
This is in the second movie, Attack of the Clones.
Oh, Clone Wars. Okay, the worst one people say, right?
Yeah, but actually the best one. Well, no, not the best. My second best.
Okay.
One. Anyway, so the
after episode 9, right?
Oh God, no. The ranking goes.
Episode 9,
let me think. 3 is the best, and then maybe 2.
Okay, we're doing a quick RE tier list.
I don't know. It's off the top of my head. I definitely 3. 3 is easily the best out of all of them. So 3, and then
really?
Yeah. Probably 3, then 2, then 5, then 6, then 4, then 1, then 7, then 8, then 9. I would say probably.
I can't believe you put 8 that low. That's like the best one.
Well,
that's literally the best Star Wars. Apart from Rogue One.
You know what? I don't I guess ignoring all those ones, but like I don't dislike it like everyone else does. So like I definitely like all the Star Wars movies. So even me putting it last is like, I still like it.
Even number 9, you like?
Yeah. There's great stuff in 9. Like without spoiling it, but there's like this scene with the chanting and stuff. Like, man, this is so cool. And then there's like a transition with the lightsaber. I'm like, it's awesome. There's a lot of good stuff in 9 that I like.
Dude, I'm trying to remember. I just remember. I mean, to be fair, I'm not someone who's infatuated with Star Wars, and so the more Star Warsy trope it is, the more bored I probably am. Number 9, though, the fact that number 9 got me to feel something when like all the voices start talking to her. I'm spoiling this. I don't care. No, I don't care.
I mean, everyone's seen it. They want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. You've probably boycotted it if you haven't. Anyway, so and like it's like, use the Force and you can like hear it. I was actually feeling it. I was like, I don't even recognize who these voices are, but I'm feeling some emotions. And then they kiss, and I'm just like, okay, hold on there. I wasn't shipping these two, but I guess we are now.
Yep. Hey, they're a dyad in the Force, all right? You know, it's you gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh, and then they had didn't they have like a sick fight against Palpatine?
That's what I was thinking. Like I just love Palpatine. I guess it's just going. This is spoilers for Star Wars. I'll put like a timestamp or something. But the that whole arena with all the Sith like minions or whatever, and they're all chanting, and Palpatine is giving this grand speech about like how you're gonna strike me down and blah blah blah, and then I don't know, it's just so cool. I love the atmosphere in that scene. But the thing I was thinking
that was
about
like a cool
is
that was a cool like team up. You're like, they're teaming up now.
Like when he gives the lightsaber to Kylo, and then like through the back, and then they both show up. Man, it's great stuff.
Yeah. Okay,
come on.
You know what?
9,
This is the first like positive conversation I've ever had about episode 9. Everybody I've talked to has hated it. This is great. Loving media is fun.
Yeah.
Even though I will say that episode 9 was very disjointed and ruined everything. My precious episode 8. The only Star Wars I've ever actually really, really liked. Not even really, really liked. I didn't even actually. I just thought Luke was so cool in that one. I was like, Luke is such a cool character.
Yeah,
I love it. And then all my Star Wars friends are like, no, they actually ruined Luke. And I was like, but Luke was boring. He was whiny in the originals. Get that Luke out of here. I want old, grumpy Luke that goes out and like the coolest bang ever. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'll take all the fire. It's like, more. And it's like, dude, I'm a ghost. Oi.
Yep.
That's cool. Cool moment that was.
Indeed.
I was like, big brain. Big brain. And they were like, that breaks the magic system or whatever. And I'm just like, screw your magic system. I don't care about the it's like, oh no, the book that only 5 people read, it ruins it. And I'm like, okay. Fine. Sorry, Star Wars fans. But
episode 8 is good, guys. All right, go watch it. You know what? If you haven't seen Star Wars, go watch Star Wars. You cowards.
Actually, no, you don't need to watch Star Wars. It's okay.
Watch the prequels, Bacon. What are you doing?
Watch the fights on YouTube. I've watched Yoda versus Guy in episode 3. That was a cool fight, and then everybody's complaining about that's not something Yoda would do. I've seen those comments. Anyway, Vinland Saga.
You cut off for a second there, but I'm going to assume you said Revenge of the Sith is so good. Read the novelization. Watch the Clone Wars. Watch Rebels. Do everything, all right? Star Wars, good. Star Wars, best thing ever. Anyway, Sigurd.
But not as good as Vinland Saga, right?
Yeah, not as good as Vinland Saga, of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, based.
So, yes, Sigurd is C-3PO and R2-D2. There you go. And if you've seen Star Wars, you probably know what I'm talking about. So, next up is that Thorkell and Sigurd are just a great combination. Like, Sigurd is basically like a Thorkell simp and is like following him around and I don't know. It's great.
That's funny. Yeah, he like moves Thorkell's like, oh, you're Thorkell the tool. You're the one I read all my fairy tale books about. And it's like, oh, I like you. Yes, I am. I'm this great man.
Yep, he frees him from slavery. It's crazy. Yep.
Based, by the way, freeing people from slavery is cool.
Yeah. So Thorkell, you know what? Maybe he's not the antagonist.
Yeah, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not pro-slavery.
Yeah. So Sigurd, the last note, I don't know much on Sigurd, but the last note is that his friends are still great. So they nice. Firstly, they like bring him down again. Like they just bring him down to earth. But the big thing is that in this book, they make a comparison how Sigurd isn't like his dad. He has friends, unlike his dad. Like he doesn't have slaves or servants like at the moment. He just has his friends. And he has a lot of friends. So
he's got four whole friends at the age of, what, like how that's like the most buddy you're ever going to get. Yep. Man.
And they're willing to go to war with him,
Exactly.
It's great.
Literally look at Sig jump from one boat to another, then get captured. And they're like, okay, I guess we got captured. We'll be slaves now with Sig.
Yeah. I love it. I really like his friends are such a big part of his character, in my opinion, which is great. One of the reasons I like Sigurd so much. But I don't have too much about Sigurd other than like I guess at the end he seems to care about Gudrid. He's like, oh, my wife is trapped, but I mean that could just be him wanting to regain his honor by taking her back. Like, yeah,
my honor.
Yeah,
Zuko moment.
Yep. But yeah, that's it for Sigurd. Any cutting analysis you got for Sigurd at this point you want to share?
Not yet.
All right. So now believe it or not, that's all the characters. Next up we have Dogland Saga, chapter 136.5.
Bug Eyes. We need to talk about Bug Eyes.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay. So I don't have any direct notes on it, but yeah.
Something off the cuff.
I don't know. He got serious. He had a scene with Garm. Can you believe it?
That's also a great joke. That's a fantastic joke. He has like the thing where he has like all the fire coming behind him and it's just him and his stick.
Yep.
It's like, oh, and like Garm's like smart enough, but he's like big braining himself. He's like, oh, this is Thorfinn's friends. They're gonna be really strong.
Yep.
And then it's like,
oh, it's God. It's like King from One Punch Man. It was great.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like King from One Punch Man. And he's got like the longest text boxes, and it's just like,
yep.
Oh, it's such a good moment, and it's like, I would not want to forecast my ego to my ferocious beast within me and all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh, yep. you're hilarious.
He's a genius.
But then he does have this moment later when he's left with the baby, where he's left with the child, and that Bug Eyes is like his motivation is shown, and he just really cares about his big Papa Leaf, and you're like, oh,
yeah, that was the big moment. Yeah,
he also like cuts out the crap with Thorfinn in a way, like I can't remember the exact quote. I'm gonna look back at it, but like this is like why like Bug Eyes is like when like his almost realistic nature, like he's able like we get wrapped up in all these guys fighting and all this stuff and like the big politics or something, but then sometimes you just need a normal dude, just to kind of cut the crap. So what was it? Like, oh yeah. He kind of calls Thorfinn out once again, actually, because I remember back in 100, like Bug Eyes, it's like, hey, Thorfinn, at least you have a family to go back to. Don't sulk around. Get off this dock and go talk about it. And so Thorfinn's here, like he says, I don't see the first resort this time. In order to save someone, I have to kill someone. Like he has to use the last resort, or he has to, and then like Bug Eyes gets all that. He's like, it's not. What? Oh yeah, he says, you're not making sense. And you're like, oh, this is going to be another Bug Eyes moment where he doesn't get it. But he actually calls out Thorfinn. He says, "It's not someone. It's ordered to save our companions. We're going to beat some warmongering assholes with a death wish. What's more important to you? What do you really need to put it on a scale to figure it out? Like, all right, listen up, Thorfinn. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to avoid to get it rich, but I came short to make sure that Leif gets back home safe. But like, he just has a genuine moment, and he kind of like, he's actually emotional, and
I didn't realize how big of an impact Leif had on his life. Like, he hadn't. There's no evidence before that he loves Leif so strongly. And this is like cool little moment,
I mean, it's like, let me get I'll get the picture for you, but like it's just like it's just nice to see some good emotional vulnerability from Bug Eyes, and him just being like himself, and everybody, like just good development, good stuff.
Yep.
All right. But now I've held you off for long enough.
Well, I mean, about that picture you sent of Thorfinn hugging Carly, a sleeping Carly. Yeah. I thought that was good. Like, I had a note on that which I didn't include, but I don't know. I just thought it's cute. It's like he's talking about how he's gonna have to kill someone and all that while he's hugging like this sleeping child who he is gonna influence, like how the trajectory of his life. Like, it's a cool visual.
Yeah. So, and he looks scary here. Like, I mean.
He's serious. Yeah.
Thorfinn looks scary. Serious mood.
All right. Dogland Saga. You ready?
Yeah. Chapter 170.
136.
36.5, right?
Yep.
There you go.
We get a sentient dog. This dog, we can communicate with it. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Carly's mama. I guess this is where we get the name, Carly's mama. Like, when you brought it up before, I was just so confused. I'm like, did I miss something?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's going on here? But yeah, we get the name. Thorfinn names her Carly's mama. And yep.
It's me, dog. As you can tell, I'm female. No, I can tell this whole time.
Yep. Oh, and the other thing, I'll put it on the screen, but like the way it's structured is the first few pages are like 2 columns and there's like a lot of different panels. And I read that so wrong. Like, you're meant to read right down and then left down. But I read like a usual manga structure. It's like right, left. And I was like, oh, I did not I had to go back and read the whole thing.
Yeah, it gets a bit confusing. But as we can see, Yukimura does make a canonical appearance inside his own manga.
Does he?
If you see that, can you see that? 1 down and 1 left.
1 down, 1 left. Is that Aino?
No. The one next to it. It's on the right. So it's like.
Oh, the goat.
Yeah.
That's Yukimura?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's the goat.
I get that makes sense. Wow. Bacon, I can't believe I didn't notice this when I read it. I'm such a fool.
Yeah, Yukimura's the goat. Did you not know?
I thought he was Isayama, but yeah, it makes sense. It's Yukimura.
Okay. I see. I
thought it was Ryan Johnson. My God.
Ryan Johnson. True. Ryan Johnson is the goat. Don't take it away from him. That's yeah.
If you know, you know. All right.
That was a very stupid bit.
Yep.
But nice.
Yeah. So Dogland Saga. The main thing I've got is that it's interesting that it's like a half chapter. And the other interesting thing is that it's a drastic, like the first half feels like it's just like a side story joke kind of thing, but the end of it is just, it's very serious. Like, it swaps to the normal like panel structure, and it ends on like this very ominous kind of thing where it feels to me like Carly's mama is gonna die. Where it's like, oh, I hope it's safe. I hope it's a good place where Carly can be happy. I hope it's safe. Where it could just be showing her anxiety on this big journey where they're in the middle of an empty ocean, but I don't know, it's very ominous and an interesting place to end such like a lighthearted chapter, which I like. It's
a very cute chapter.
Yeah, very cute chapter. It's a great description for it. Yeah. Now, are you ready for Yukimura's interview?
Yay!
So we get the hands quote that you mentioned like ages ago, whereas like hands are the most expressive part of the character after the face. And I was like, I know this. Bacon read this to me, and I took a screenshot and put it in the video or something. So that was a great quote. The only other like question that I've actually got a note. There's two I want to talk about. The one I've got a note on is Yukimura's interpretation of the Canute and Thorfinn promise, because it's a bit open ended, like in that conversation in Farmland. But the way he interprets it is, Thorfinn experiences and hates both. In this case, he's talking about war and slavery. So Thorfinn experiences and hates both, but he is powerless to change the system, so he decides to leave. There will be terrible bloodshed if he decides to change the world, so he leaves it to Canute, because Canute has the power and the shorter path. So that's a very good summary, I think. I think that's how I take it, like how I have taken it. But it was cool to see him like kind of explain his idea behind it. The only other note, I haven't got a strict note on this, but the only other thing I remember that stood out was that he talked about an example of another book or another, I don't remember if it was an anime or a manga or maybe both, where he talks about how he learned a lesson from it. Like it was a manga or a story that was trying to teach something or trying to accomplish something in the world. And that kind of gave him the inspiration to create a story like this, where he's trying to like impart a lesson on people. I thought that was like another cool thing.
Oh, really? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh god. It is?
Oh no. I hope it's actually from this, and I'm not like I didn't watch like a YouTube video or something on like Star Wars, and I'm tying that together.
Okay. Well, because I know he talks about the author of Akira, and talks about how good their drawings are and how good an artist they are and stuff like that. And if you follow Yukimura's Twitter, he almost has like on the dot every month where he talks about how bad he is, compared to other mangaka authors that art. I'm like, bro, what are you saying? But then again, I guess if you're comparing yourself to someone like I think he compares his output to someone like what's the One Punch Man authors called? Like that guy.
Murata.
So Murata, yeah. Like that dude, he's young, so he just must have like insane drive, but he must burn out at some point. It's actually insane. Like he's doing like 60 pages.
He enjoys it, you know,
stuff he enjoys it. Yeah, sure. He's not human if he enjoys it forever. I mean, that's what Miura did, right? Like Miura was doing anyway, like the author for Vagabond was doing like fortnightly releases on these chapters, and you look at the art and it's like, it's insane. Like, I guess I think Vagabond chapters are a little shorter, to be fair. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I was looking in the interview. He was talking about the never-ending story. He says, it was the first book I knew of in which someone wrote a book because he had a sense of obligation and a goal in relation to society and the world. So I thought that was interesting.
Never-ending story.
Which I don't know. I've never read it. I just know it from Stranger Things. They sung a song about it or something.
There's a movie, or there's a film. I probably based on a book, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had the book in our like school library. It was like really big, and everyone was like scared of it or something. I don't know.
What's the story it's trying to impart?
Maybe it's about violence. I don't know.
It's interesting. He's pretty well read. It's a German book, so for a Japanese man, pretty well read.
Yeah.
Probably why he can make good literature if you're well read.
Yep.
Not surprising, actually.
Yeah, there were a lot of it. I mean, this was a great interview. And yeah, I also wondered, like, when do these take place? Like, are these is he already ahead of this, like chapter 144 when he's doing this? Like, how far ahead? Like,
that's a good question. I think it may be a English interview exclusive, so it's probably for the release of the English book.
Yep,
I think that's it.
Yep. All right.
But yeah, and then for the Japanese ones, like the Ask Yukimura, I think that's done when he's releasing the volume. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Anything else besides? I've just got miscellaneous notes and predictions now.
Let's do that. I mean, how much time have we spent? This is a longer one.
Yeah.
We're back to how we used to be.
We had a few tangents. We had a long Star Wars tangent.
Yeah.
All right, miscellaneous notes. The first one, which we've already said, we had a lot of small shots of Hild. So I said that. Now the next point is a mystery, which I wonder if you have any answer to. But at the end of 143, I think, we get this image on like after it says the chapter's ended. I I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I think it was 143.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is meant to be. Like, it's I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of like some of the circular patterns that he drew for Arnid, a few times, or Gudrid even on the front cover. But yeah, it may just be like a type of Viking pattern of some sort. But yeah, I don't actually know if there's an actual name for it.
I mean, it's an interesting place to put it. Like, it's not at the end of the book. Yeah. I guess the book, he didn't really consider the books when he was doing it. It's a strange place to put it.
Yeah.
But, yep. Next up,
it is weird. Maybe he was just like, "Oh, let's draw something. I feel like drawing this."
Yep,
and then he did.
Maybe it's his proudest drawing. The best thing he's ever drawn. He's really proud of it. He wanted to show it off,
and he's really sad that no one else talks about it. But not now.
Thank God. He'll listen to this. He'll be like, "Thank God, these two people talking about my magnum opus." Okay, so the next note is about Thorkell meeting Sigurd. I don't remember if we talked about this already, but It's just a great panel where it's like Sigurd talking about, "Oh, do you have any idea whose son I am?" And then giant Thorkell was like, "No idea. Who's your daddy?" I like it. It's just
I'm your daddy.
It's disarming for Sigurd and shows Thorkell. I love it. So next up,
yes, good moment.
The Battle of Hrungnir or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? Sigurd basically says, "Oh, you're Thorkell. I've heard the stories from the battle of this," which I've typed in Hrungnir, I think.
Yawn. I think you don't pronounce.
Honestly, I got no idea. But the reason I bring it up is that it's so familiar. Like I'm pretty sure we've heard this before somewhere in the story. But trigger any memories of anything?
So what you're probably thinking of the battle that Thor's was in, which is a different battle, which is the one where, episode 1 starts off.
Yeah.
Thor's and Thorkell. So that's probably the battle that is HA or something like that.
That would make sense.
Chapter 127, if you want to have a look and have a look at that.
Okay. Okay. So next up, then, we meet Utley again. And he's descended. He went and became a bandit. It's so sad.
Sadness.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the notes that I probably wrote down, but I can't access it at the moment because of my other computer that we need to talk about eventually. I'll look at that for next time.
Oh, I forgot about that document. All right, yeah, we'll have to get to that. But yeah, we meet him. It's sad. He's been captured. He has a family, which is great. But the standout from this is just this great quote from Thorfinn, where he says, "When you plant the seeds of violence, that is all you can feed your children." Very wise, Good old Thorfinn.
Yeah.
So there we go. Yep.
Deep.
Next up, when I saw Vargen for the first time, he looks identical to Ganishka from Berserk. Like that has to be intentional. There's no way it's not. Like if you've got Canute and Griffith, you've definitely got Ganishka and Vargen. They are identical.
I see.
Which is a great subversion because he's nothing like Ganishka. Obviously, he like starts crying out of emotion and everything, and it's great.
Yeah, that's another moment where everybody's like, "Oh, Vinland Saga 2, whatever." Like.
No, I think it's
too shonen now, and Thorfinn literally gets drowned out with his tears. It's another one of those moments where he kind of like. I'm not actually going to say what I'm going to say because that's like for the whole arc in general to kind of think about it later.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Think about it in retrospect.
Well, in regards to that, like him crying and I liked it because it feels like Vargen has, in the very limited amount of time we get of him, I feel like I know him pretty well. Like he's a very well developed character already. Just from that, like just from him crying.
You feel for him,
yeah, like he's very serious. He still cries. He's very passionate. He's not a good person still. He's like thieving all these lands and everything. I feel like we get a good amount of Vargen and for the amount we actually see him. Next up, we get Wolf back in the story, which I definitely wasn't expecting. But the only note I've got specifically about Wolf is that throughout Farmland, at the end of Farmland, I guess, we get this change in Canute, where Thorfinn kind of convinces him to go down a better path. Now, throughout, like in the beginning of Farmland, Wolf is willing. He's just happily going along with everything Canute says. So he's willing to do these bad, like morally bad things, I guess, for just because Canute tells him, and he's the man on the inside with Canute. But unlike Canute, he doesn't have a change. Like he doesn't have a moment where it's like, oh, you know what, we were doing the wrong thing. Let's do this. So I don't know. He's just an interesting person. Where like I wonder what drives him.
Dog.
You know? Yeah, he is a wolf. Yes.
Yeah.
So
speaking of wolves, you had them hunting for wolves, right? Canute's back.
Oh boy, when I was reading that, yeah, I firstly I like it a lot. But I read like every page and I'm like, oh, there's something going on here, some metaphor. So I was like brainstorming, trying to come up with what's this metaphor, and then they explain it basically, and I'm like, okay, this is great. But yeah, I liked it. Cool stuff with the wolf and the wolf and Canute and the men thinking it's a joke and Yep. But yeah, we haven't seen Estrid again.
Yeah, not based.
Yeah, Wolf and Estrid.
Where's waifu?
Yeah.
Where's waifu number 62? I can't believe it.
Yeah. Are there 62 women in Vinland Saga? I don't know.
I doubt that. I actually doubt that. I don't think there's that many women in Vinland Saga.
Yeah. All right.
We've got Tula. Don't forget about Tula. Do you know who Tula is? Do you remember?
Tula.
Come on, you can't forget Tula.
Is that Gudrid's sister? I don't know. Tula?
MILF. Yes. Well, yeah.
Wait, is it?
Sister. Yeah. No. Mother-in-law. Yeah, at least Leaf's sister. But she's the one that was helping out Gudrid in her chapter. Absolute.
Shoo. All right. So you like her a lot. All right. I'll have to go back and.
Oh yeah. Base Tula.
That's good. That's good to hear.
You don't have to go back and reread. Yeah,
all right. I'll just trust you.
What a great person.
Yeah.
Tula based.
Okay. Next miscellaneous note. Don't worry, we only got 3 left. So at one point they said that there were 4 Jomsvikings captains. So Thor's, Thorkell, Floki, and is it Vargan? Is he the 4th? That I've always wondered who the 4th was. Okay.
Yes, he is the 4th.
Ooh, all right. I'm really glad now. So he would have been around then, like for, I guess since
So he knew Thor's and Floki and Thorkell. So he's all in cahoots with them.
I do like Vargan a lot. Yeah. Interesting stuff behind him, you know. Okay. Next up, second last note. I wonder how tall Hild is. And the reason I bring this up is that when Thorfinn and Hild are like ushering away the slave women in the forest, like I kind of wondered, what do the women think of Hild when they see her? Like if she's really tall and like big, like I can imagine them seeing her differently than if she was similar to them in a way. And to me, it's hard to tell like how big she is, you know. But I don't know. There's just the food for thought.
Do you want to guess?
I mean, I can
give you the answer.
Like I would assume she's like, I would assume she's pretty big, like 180 or something, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so like Garm height.
Yeah, like big, but not like Einar big, you know? Wait, how tall is Einar, honestly?
Einar's 184.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, maybe not 180.
You have to remember that all these heights are like smaller because it's Viking times.
All right, so then I'd say she's between a normal person and Einar. Like she's a bit taller than like an average like person.
So she'd be like 5'7", you'd think.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so she's actually 5'3".
Whoa.
She's like 160. So,
my goodness.
But she's taller than Thorfinn. Thorfinn's like 5'2". Gudrid's 5 foot.
Wow. All right.
Asklad is 5'7". Thor's is 5'11".
Yep.
Thorkell is 7'7".
Jesus.
But yeah. So the best way to describe it, because this also came, you'll see this in the video, but like people overestimate how tall Hild is, but then they're like, oh, she's also a woman. And if you remember anything about Japanese and their weights for women and like heights for women and stuff, they're like always way too small. Yeah. Like Bacon from Guilty Gear is like 48 kilos in weight or something ridiculous. I'm just like you look at her body type and there's no way she's that weight. Anyway, Guilty Gear is a whole nother can of worms when it comes to its ridiculous heights and weights. It's really, really ridiculous. But that's probably the point. But anyway, best way to describe Hild is that she gives big woman energy off.
Yeah, interesting.
Ilva is like 5'7" though.
Yeah,
Ilva's like 5'7",
she looks very like very big.
So Ilva is actually tall, but
Yep. So they would these slave women, they'd look at Hild and they'd be like, she's a bit bigger than me, but, you know, not ridiculously bigger than me.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, most of them probably Gudrid height. So,
yep.
But yeah, and also, I mean, Hild's scary. You know, she's got a scar. She's like,
yeah.
What the heck is going on with this thing?
I
She's a hunter,
feel like,
you know?
yeah, it makes sense. I was just wondering, like, what's going through these women's heads when they see Hild, you know? Yeah, interesting. Now, we've already talked about this miscellaneous note. The last one was just about the Hild's reaction to seeing Thorkell. I was like, oh, that's cute.
Oh,
she's just
you
worried.
picked up on that as well. Nice.
Yeah. I forgot I had it.
She's like, oh, wow, this guy's big.
Yep, it was great.
Hild Thorkell, and it's also kind of like in a way, you're like, yeah, Hild, yeah, you don't know what Thorfinn's been through. You had to fight this guy, huh? Yeah.
He took out his eye. My goodness.
Yeah, no, that's why I thought. Yeah, shut up, Hild. Yeah, that's why I thought. Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
Yes, Hild bad. She's down in D tier now. Bad. She's down there with the Frank man or whatever his name was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jabeth.
Yeah. All right. Predictions. You ready? Not too many this time. So firstly, Leif got hit in the leg by an arrow or something. I assume it's an arrow. So I think that could be a big deal for him. I think either he could die from this or he could retire from this. Like he's an old man. He's taken a big injury. You know, he can't walk anymore. I could easily. I assume he would be more on the retire side. Like I could see this like being the catalyst for him slowly, like, you know, becoming an old man. You know, that's one prediction I've got. Next up, okay, this is like the biggest prediction of like what's going to happen in this arc. So I feel like I would love for this to happen. I don't actually know if it will, but I guess my prediction is that Thorfinn, Floki, and Baldr all have to be in the same room, to like have like a peace negotiation or something. I don't know. So that you can have Baldr, whether literally or symbolically, stopping Thorfinn from killing Floki. Like Baldr is the one that is like that Thorfinn is learning something from in this situation. Like I feel like that would be a really interesting situation to have those three, and I guess also maybe having Hild in there as well. I guess that's more of like a moonshot thing, because if you have Hild in that conversation as well, and you bring up her dad somehow, who was a Jomsviking, and the crazy theories we talked about last time, then the whole climax of this arc becomes about family, and because you've got like all these relationships going on with like Floki and Baldr, and Floki and Thorfinn and Thors, and Floki and Thors, and Hild and her dad, and Hild and Thorfinn. You got all this stuff, like all these family relationships going on, and I feel like that could be a big climax here. So that's my big prediction. I think those four characters, mainly the three, Thorfinn, Floki, Baldr, I think they'll be the ones at like the center of this. So, you know, sitting down in a room,
And then Vin Diesel comes out of everybody and says, "Fame."
Yes, and then they all hug, and it's all solved.
Yeah, and it's all solved.
Yep, can't wait. Okay, so that's gonna happen, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Next up, so we got Thorkell survived.
Vin Diesel's gonna break down Jormsburg.
I can't wait
with his car. It's gonna be Fast and Furious Vinland,
and it'll have a ball bearing in it, and she'll see the ball bearing. It's like, "Hey, this is my design."
That's what I was thinking of. This guy's took my design.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew I should have made those fidget spinners so that in 2017 I can sell loads of them.
Yep.
Make so much money.
She could invent time travel, and then I don't know, anything could happen. Anyway,
anything could happen. Hild's OP, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think she's a bit broken for this story. They should nerf her or whatever.
Yeah, a bit broken.
Okay. Next up, Thorkell survived his great trial that I've been predicting for countless books on end.
The random prediction.
Well, yes.
Is this the last prediction?
Congratulations. If you're listening at this point, no, it's not the last prediction. So you made it. You're hearing it. You know what I think is going to happen to Thorkell?
What?
He's going to die of old age. the ultimate.
He's not dying in battle anymore.
Nope, not at all. He is surviving every battle. He is making it to the end of this series. He's going to die of old age. That's exactly what's going to happen. My big prediction.
And why do you think this?
Because I feel like if he was going to die, he's had plenty of opportunities, like of the stuff I've seen so far, where it would have been great. So I feel like now the ultimate like irony of his character is that he never dies a warrior. Like he dies just of old age. Like I think that would be cool and cute, you know.
Okay.
So that's what I think with Thorkell. But who knows? Anything could happen. He's in the middle of an arc. But doesn't matter. He's immortal now. Every time I see him, I'm like, don't worry, he's fine. He'll live till old age. Now, second last prediction is that Carly's mama is not going to make it to Vinland. We got that ominous. We got that Dogland Saga chapter where it ended on an ominous note. I hope everything goes okay.
She's had too much characterization.
Yeah. She's sentient now, you know. We can't have a sentient animal, you know. What does that mean to Hild? Yeah, Hild kills the animals. If the animals are sentient, she's evil. You know, it doesn't make sense.
They eat meat and stuff.
Yep.
Vinland Saga going vegan on us. Can't believe it.
So that's it. She's gonna die, or she's not gonna make it. Maybe she'll get lost or something, but she's definitely not making it to Vinland. Now, final prediction. The thing that is the most important part of this story. So last book, I thought that Sigurd was going to be bought so that we could get information from him about Thorfinn, so that Vargan's spies could get info on him. But he didn't. He didn't die. That's not the end of his. I thought that would be the end of his story. Like we wouldn't see him after that, but we see him now. But at the same time, we have Gudrid who loves Thorfinn. You know, because she blushed. And it's like that's it. Like I'm certain that she loves Thorfinn. Now. At the same time, Gudrid is Sigurd's wife. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot to talk about this, but he also had not in this book, but in book 9, I think. Like she and Aino are on the boat, and she was like, "Oh, I'm just so mad that Thorfinn goes and does all this stuff by himself." And Aino logically explains why, and then she kicks him in the butt.
Yeah,
and
that's the scene I'm talking
Leaf
about.
Goes the seas and the waters are far vast between men and women, or whatever. Yep. Leaf being whatever.
No, I think that's the scene where I'm like, oh, she loves him. Like that's where it came from. Yep. So, but she's in a bit of a pickle because she loves Thorfinn, but she's married to Sigurd. So Sigurd's not going to let her go. And Thorfinn probably is going to be like, you're married to Sigurd. I don't want to, disrespect Sigurd or something. But so I think my prediction is that, so I think that in this book, we get a bunch of setup with Sigurd's friends pointing out that he's not like his dad. So I could see I think they're going to set up, this is a prediction, but I think they're going to set up a scenario where Sigurd actually does return home without Gudrid, where he realizes that he doesn't have to be like his dad. He doesn't have to uphold to these things that his dad demands of him. And that she would be happier if she was in Vinland with Thorfinn. Maybe not together in a relationship, but like in Vinland with Thorfinn and his friends. So I feel like we could have a big character moment with Sigurd where he grows in that he overcomes his dad, he can return home without his mission, and at the same time he realizes that Gudrid would be happier in Vinland, so he lets her go. So I feel like that's and then obviously after that Thorfinn and Gudrid get together, but I don't know. That's in the way distant future is what I'm thinking. But more immediately, I think that's where Sigurd's story is going. So that's my final prediction.
Nice.
Yep, and we did it. Book 10, maybe a very long video.
I
don't think it's the longest, luckily. People. Yeah. Thank God.
I've got 147 minutes on mine, but
you'll
probably cut that down. So
yeah.
Anyway, should we say goodbye?
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Watch Star Wars. Watch Cowboy Bebop, the live action. And Vinland Saga good. Yeah, go ahead. What do you want to? You tell them to. Give them something you want, Bacon.
Give them something they need to read.
Yeah.
Read my big comment on the post on r/Vinland Saga. Yes. I won't link it. You have to find it.
Yep. Perfect.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.